Assalamu alaikum, dear viewers. Today, our topic is the human eye. The very most important layer of the human eye is the retina. Retina form the inner coat of the eye, and the light enters through the lens and passes it to the retina, and image can make at retina. At first the image is upside down, and this is the responsibility of the retina to focus backlight on the lens, and the image is clear and we can see that object. It had rows and cones that plays important role. The next part of the eye is the cornea. At the very front of the eye, this outer coat becomes transparent and appear as small bulge. This bulge is called the cornea. It is tough, round, virtually transparent outer shell of the eye. It protects the delicate structure behind it and starts to bend the entering light waves. Rays are bent inward by it to the being image formation. As cornea has no internal blood supply of its own, so greater transparency becomes possible at this. This transparent cornea permits more light to pass through and play a critical role in formation of images. The next part is the iris. The silvery body folds inwards. It gives rays to the iris. It is a circular patch of tissue that gives the eye its characteristic color: brown, blue, green, or gray, or hazel. The variety of color make the name iris very appropriate, as it comes from the Greek word of rainbow. Actually, the iris consists of two layers: an outer layer containing pigmentation and the inner layer contains blood vessels. If the outer layer is heavily pigmented, the iris will appear brown. The next layer is the pupil. At the center of the iris is a round black region called the pupil. The pupil is actually an opening or gap within two sets of muscles. The inner set runs currically around the pupil. When the circle band of muscles contract, the pupil gets smaller, and the set of muscles runs readily out from the edge of the cuticle muscles away from the pupillary openings. When the radical muscles contract, the pupil widens or dilates. These changes in the pupil size control the amount of light reaching in the back of the eye. The size of the pupil depends on several factors. Lens. The another most important part of the eye is the lens. Lens is the most important part that make an image, that help retina to make an image. A very important optical element of the eye. The lens is about 9 mm in diameter and 4 mm in thickness. The lens consists of three distinct parts: a capsule, an epithelial layer just inside the capsule, and the lens itself. The next layer is the choroid. Choroid lies the inside of the sclerotic between it and the retina. It is composed of a network of blood vessels and connective tissues. Its inner surface is dark brown or black. This prevents reflection, which would cause confusion of the image senses. The layer of dark pigmentation is absolutely luminous, who is in consequences are almost blind in bright daylight. Cornea has basically the lens. Light passes through the cornea and image can make on the retina, and the ciliary muscles can bind the lens through the choroid layer. Lens is most important, and lens is connected to the choroid layer. Choroid layer cover all of the eye. The next part of the eye is the vitreous humor that is present in the eye and that can maintain the structure of the eye. If the vitreous humor is ruptured, the shape of the eye becomes very bad. It maintains the structure of the eye and it provides the oxygen to the parts of the eye and the nutrients through the blood vessels to whole of the eye. The next part is the aqueous humor. Aqueous humor is present around the lens. It moists the lens. It can provide nutrients to the lens. It can provide a lens to contract and to relax. The ability, if the aqueous humor is not present in the eye, the ability of the lens to contract and to relax becomes impossible. Aqueous humor is most important as vitreous humor is important. The shape of the eye is maintained through the aqueous humor. Eyes are the most important part. The pupil is the most important part. The optic, the retina is also the most important part. eye is like rainbow eye. We have already discussed. Protect the lens and whole eye. The next important part is the sclera. Sclera is the white layer of the eye. It is tough, dense, fibrous membranes forming the greater part of the outer layer of the eyeball. It is the only part of the eye that is capable of resisting any strain, so that if by chance stretch or give away, the rest of the structure will not once follow suit. In front of it is continued as the cornea, which being transparent forms the window of the eye. Sclera is the most important layer that surround the whole of the eye, that bind the eye to the skin. Sclera is important. It's white, dense layer made up of fibrous that can protect the eye from any external damage. The next important part which we will discuss is basically the optic nerve. Optic nerve is basically the nerve that connect the eye to the brain, that send the messages to the brain. If we can recognize images, if we can see images, if we can give name to the things, this is possible through the optic nerve. If optic nerve is not present, if optic nerve is not in working, we cannot make senses in images. We cannot make it is not possible for us to make and recognize the objects and things. Thank you so very much for watching. Kindly like and subscribe our channel and push the icon bell button for more updates.